Welcome to today's episode of Relationships Turned On. Recently, I was in a couple session. This couple was looking to get married, working out a few things, actually being extremely smart and proactive over where their life was going, having all the hard conversations early on, which was amazing. You don't actually come across this all that often. So it was really amazing, really proactive. And we got to a certain point in the session and I said, what fears do we have around getting married? And what they said to me, I found really interesting. What their top fear was around getting married. Their top fear was that living together would kill the passion. Living together would kill the spark. Living together means that they wouldn't be as excited to see each other, that they wouldn't make an effort. That was their top fear. And they're right. So many couples fall into this trap. So many couples, have kids and get all the things, the job, the house, and seemingly that's like the pinnacle. It's great for sure, but what's greater is having an amazing, turned on, passionate, loving relationship, regardless of where you are in life, regardless of whether you live together or you don't live together. And so we talked about how do you actually keep passion going when you live together or you see each other 24/7, or maybe you even work at home together. What on earth do you do? So here's the thing. Lots of couples stop prioritizing one another when they start living together. It's like, oh, hey, you're just here. And we take it for granted. They don't make eye contact. They don't leave space to miss each other. They don't flirt. They don't be silly. They don't have fun. They just get into the mundane. They say things like, I'm tired and I have a headache 24/7. They don't create any real time in the calendar for themselves. They just jam it full of stuff, whether it's stuff for the kids or work or whatever. And then when they're not working, they're scrolling or they're just shut down. They do the basic tasks and then they go to sleep. And then after a while, something annoys them about the other person and they snore or whatever, and then they go to the other room, creating even more disconnection. Not saying you can't have connection if you can sleep in a different room, of course you can. But often this is the story that plays out. So what I really want to do is go through 6 tips to keep the spark alive, regardless of your situation, regardless of whether you both work at home, regardless of whether you see each other 24/7 or you live together or you don't live together. So the first one is often couples that I see, the biggest trap, they will be prioritizing efficiency over intimacy. So what I mean by that is because they live together, everything becomes about groceries, laundry schedules, cleaning up, having a clean house, checklists, all these things, which are fine, possibly needed, they're good, they're not bad things, but they don't take the time anymore for moments of connection. Like, I'm too busy, my to-do list needs doing. They prioritize the to-do list or logistics over everything, even to the point where I get couples and I'll be like, what do you love about the other person? And the only things they can come up with is logistic stuff, household stuff, mum and dad stuff. That is not sexy. It's great. You should be appreciative of it, but there needs to be more than that. You need to have appreciation about each other as a man and wife. You need to be able to take 2 minutes to stop and kiss and be silly in the kitchen. That's how you break out of the mundane and how it becomes fun, which is what it should be when you're in a romantic relationship, right? It shouldn't be all about the logistics. Definitely, I get it. It's important, but not all of it. It should be about logistics. Another thing I see about couples, and when I get them to do a certain exercise, it's often a mind blower because they don't make eye contact. They barely look at each other. They're not even aware that they're not looking at each other. They just keep doing all of these different things. They're trying to have a conversation with no eye contact. They've got phones out, they're sitting next to each other watching the same show on 2 different phones at the same time. There is power in eye contact. Who knew? When you don't have eye contact, it dehumanizes the other person. Eye contact is honestly how we can see what's going on for the other person, whether they're hurt, happy, frustrated, sad, whatever. It's a connection point and it's vital. You want to keep passion and spark alive, have eye contact. You can even sit and do the 2-minute silent eye gaze challenge. It feels super weird at first. You might laugh, whatever, but I promise you there's magic on the other side of that. So give that a go. Well worth it. Number 3 is they don't leave any space to miss each other. So they don't do anything separate. They don't take separate walks. They don't have individual hobbies. They just don't do anything different, new and exciting. So when they come together, they have nothing to talk about because they've already been together. You're an individual as much as your husband and wife or married, and you need to have those things that light you up individually so you can take them back to the relationship and talk about them, be excited about them, all of that type of thing. And it builds excitement and space to miss each other. So you need quality time and the individual time, right, to help things thrive. Number 4, I always ask couples this, and I'm always astounded. There's no flirting anymore. They forget the light touches, the playful texts, the inside jokes. They forget to be silly and fun. Passion thrives on these micro moments. Passion is not what just happens in the bedroom. Passion's what happens all the way up until that point. Passion's about building the anticipation up until that point. And so if you aren't just being silly or flirting just for flirting's sake, for no good reason, right? Just because other than it's fun, then it kills passion. You have to keep flirting with your partner. I think one of the best tips is like, what did you do at the beginning? You need to keep doing that throughout it. Sure, it'll morph and change in different seasons, but you keep doing that throughout it. Another big thing I see is they don't take any sacred time. Pick a time once a week, distractions free, no tech, and treat each other like lovers, not roommates. Have a wine together in the backyard or on your veranda. Stay in bed a little bit longer for 20 minutes. Yes, even if you have kids, obviously their baby's a bit different, but if they can go play on their own, just stay in bed for extra 20 minutes. Sure, they might come in, that's fine. Just these little micro things can make such a difference to your connection and intimacy. Even knowing that the other person wants to be there with you can help with connection and intimacy. An extra 20 seconds in the hug can help with connection and intimacy. 6 is talk about desire without shame. One thing that gets me more than anything is most couples don't ever talk about desire, intimacy. Ask things like, when do you feel most connected to me lately? Or what turns you on that we haven't talked about in a while? Because often things change. And so couples don't talk about what makes them connected and what is important to them in terms of intimacy. And then we fumble through in the dark and we think we know all these things. We know nothing about each other. And even if you have the conversations in the start, they're going to be different today. Talking about it actually keeps you connected. Talking about it keeps you clear on what we both want and keeps it fun and different, right? So it's not just the mundane, same old, same old. And it can be a playful, fun conversation, and it should be. Honestly, I've been having a lot of sessions lately around this, and there's so many ways to keep it playful and fun. And so I just want to put that on your radar, because living together doesn't have to kill the passion. Having kids doesn't have to kill the passion. None of these things have to kill the passion. It's actually more about where you put your focus, attention, energy, and effort. And I know you don't have a lot of it if you're in the season of kids or whatever. So you just do micro connections, as many as you can. You get them in when you can, seize the opportunity when you can. I also see a lot of couples actually have options for babysitting for different things and they never use them. And I kind of wonder why. Don't you enjoy being together? Isn't it fun to get away one night? There's a lot to that. If you have the opportunity, then use it. And so I just want to challenge you. What is the one thing you're going to do to keep the spark alive today in your relationship? I'm giving you a whole host. Please comment below, subscribe, let me know what is the one thing you're going to do to keep the intimacy alive.